What's going on, everyone? This is Dom, and today we're checking out Samsung's Galaxy Note 7. Now, I recently got my hands on this device at the official press event, but now it's time to dig a little deeper. And after my first impressions of the phone, I decided to get a better perspective on everything involved here, and I'd like to give a huge thanks to T-Mobile for hooking me up with the device early and making this video possible. Jumping inside of the box, you'll find, of course, the Galaxy Note 7, along with your standard documentation and paperwork. Underneath that, you'll find a USB Type-C cable and wall adapter, some extra S Pen tips and removal tool, Samsung branded headphones, and finally a couple of adapters. So there's a USB Type-C to USB adapter along with a USB-C to micro USB adapter just in case you need that for some older cables or accessories that you may have. If you're curious about specifications, not much has changed here over the Galaxy S7 Edge, but inside the Note 7 we do have a Snapdragon 820 processor, 4GB of RAM, and 64GB of internal storage with micro SD card expansion up to 256GB. This year, Samsung didn't change much about the design. Everything here closely resembles a mix between the Galaxy S7 Edge and the Galaxy Note 5. There's Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and back of the device, with metal sandwiched in the middle holding it all together. There's not much more that can be expected from Samsung this time around, and don't get me wrong, the design here is definitely nice, but it's not a huge step up from last year's Note, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It feels solid in the hand as well, but the glass design does tend to make it a bit slippery at times. Oh, and like the Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge, the Note 7 is also water resistant, so thumbs up for that. Around the front side, we have a 5.7-inch Quad HD Super AMOLED display with a resolution of 2560 by 1440, ranking in at 518 pixels per inch. The Galaxy Note 7 also features HDR video playback capabilities that'll bring another level of awesomeness to compatible content available. Now, when compared to last year's model, there's not a whole lot new here with the display, but the design of the Note adds a curve to the side edges for some additional functionality, and it all looks pretty clean. Basically, Samsung has taken the S7 Edge screen features and put them into the Note 7, so you'll find stuff like Tasks Edge, Apps Edge, and People Edge, all of which can provide quick shortcuts to apps and people that you need the most. The Edge screen is also completely customizable within the settings as well for additional panels and options if you choose to use them. Also integrated into the design this year is an iris scanner, so this is another authentication method available aside from the fingerprint sensor to use to unlock your device. The iris scanner works pretty well in my experience, but I still haven't found it to be faster than using the fingerprint scanner. I mean, you still need to turn on the screen and swipe up to unlock to initialize the scanning process. Though one advantage that both the iris scanner and fingerprint sensor offer is the ability to quickly sign into websites using Samsung's browser and verify your Samsung account. When it comes to software, most of the experience can be summarized in what you'll use with the Note 7's S Pen and the various features planted around the operating system. At launch, the Note 7 is running Android Marshmallow, and everything has been pretty smooth for me. Samsung has refined its software experience, but only time will tell how it will hold up after months and months of use, so be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you'd like to see a long-term review in the future. With the S Pen, Samsung has increased the precision over the Note 5, which is definitely a good thing, but there's also a few new software features as well. First off, with Smart Select, you now have the ability to create GIFs from basically anything on the screen, and it's particularly helpful for videos. There's also a new translation feature which will allow you to hover over words with the S Pen and translate between languages. And of course, we have favorites like Screen Off Memo, which we saw with the Note 5, but there's a lot to enjoy if you're into using the S Pen, though for me the fun fades away quickly. But to each their own. I mean, the S Pen requires a very specific kind of person, and there are a ton of software features that go along with that. Around the backside, we have a 12-megapixel camera sensor capable of 4K video recording that's actually identical to the one found in the Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge. And I said it before, but this is the best camera on a smartphone, hands down. The pictures are simply awesome. This camera can easily stand up against any others on the market, but if you'd like to check out a full resolution gallery for yourself, I will be sure to link one below in the video description, though like I said, this camera is awesome. Oh, and if you're a selfie enthusiast, the Galaxy Note 7 also packs a 5-megapixel front shooter with a wider angle to capture everything in the frame. As for battery life, here's what you need to know about the 3500 mAh block inside of this thing. So far, I've been pretty impressed with nearly 6 hours of screen on time on some days. I've easily been able to make it through the day with at least 30% battery left, but with wireless and fast charging options built in here, you'll have no problem juicing it up. But make sure that you subscribe if you want to see that long-term review that I mentioned earlier and a comparison between the Note 5 and the Note 7. Here's the deal though, while I may not have been completely impressed with the Note 7 initially, that doesn't mean that it's not a great phone. Samsung has kind of hit a pinnacle of design and functionality in its smartphones at this moment in time. They're all kind of on the same level, and while that's not a bad thing, it's just not as exciting as it used to be. But the Note 7 is definitely a great phone for anybody that's looking to jump to Android or looking to jump up to the latest in Samsung smartphones. This is the best that Samsung has to offer. But if you'd like to check out the Note 7 for yourself, I will be sure to leave a link below for you, and let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you want to check out my initial hands-on review of the Galaxy Note 7, I will be sure to leave that linked in the video description as well. Thanks again for watching, everybody. This is Dom, and I will catch you in the next video.